Welcome to Coach on the Couch here at Marshfield Country Club in Marshfield. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, and visiting today with Marshfield Tigers softball coach, Becky Linzmeier. Coach, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Let's just jump in right away. So this will be year one. You've got a few practices under your belt. Talk about that. Why now? Why coach the Marshfield Tigers softball team?
Well, I've been really with the softball program for the last probably 20 years. The last 4 or 5 years, I stepped away for professional responsibilities. I wanted to take on some leadership roles within the school district and work on some curriculum and things like that. So I couldn't coach at the same time to commit. So I stepped away at that time for those professional and personal reasons, but I was always not far away. And so for many years, I started coaching softball 8th grade, then freshman, and then I assisted Mike Voss for probably 10 to 12 years as his varsity assistant. And then I worked with Danny Costa as well for a year or two. And then I stepped away. And I always said at that time I would come back when the time was right. I never said I would put my coaching shoes away, Mm-hmm. So I definitely, when the opportunity came last fall, I was like, you know what? I was ready. I was ready to take on this challenge, and I had a lot of support from players and parents and community, and I thought, yeah, let's do this. So I'm excited.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we're excited. We're excited that you're here. We hope to get the season underway very, very soon.
Yes.
So we're excited on this end for that. We'll talk about this year's team in a little bit, but first, just to kind of put a bow on the 2021 team. I think had a really great year in 2021. All the challenges that were in the world last year, all those things, Coach Costa and the girls looked like they navigated through that really well. Started the year on a win. They opened the brand new stadium. Yep, with a win, and then it was a doubleheader, and so we got cut off by light that night. Is what happened there. And then as the year went on, and these things happen in sports. Teams ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
Team may have kind of, a little bit lost at sea maybe, just for a little bit, and then just caught fire at the end of the year. Finished 4th in the Wisconsin Valley Conference, and in the playoffs, beat the 3rd place team Wisconsin Rapids in a regional semifinal, beat the conference champions DC Everest in a regional final, beat the Stevens Point Panthers in a sectional semifinal. All of those games, Becky, were at their place. So they went out against teams that they may have struggled with during the regular season, beat them all in the playoffs and beat them all on the road, and then ended up falling to, which every year seems like a good team out of Chippewa Falls, but one game from state. To me, that sounds like a really good season. What were kind of your thoughts on that team, looking maybe from afar or even up close?
Yeah, I did attend quite a few of their games last year, and it was a challenging year. They played double headers.
Yeah,
they played tons of double headers. So and they had some lower numbers, I would say, as far as team wise. And so you were asking some of these girls to pitch numerous innings and so it was a struggle to that standpoint. But I think they had a successful year as well, and they peaked at the right time going into the postseason.
I would say.
As a coach, that is. Ultimately, you tell your players, hey, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season, it's how you play in that postseason. And they went in there and went on the road and beat those teams. And, hopefully that experience, they can all, because a lot of those players are returning. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully that experience will flow into this year, and we can kind of feed off of that energy and that experience.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You've got what I think one of the premier pitchers in central Wisconsin coming back. We'll talk about Courtney in just a little bit. Mm-hmm. First, and I got to take notes. I got to read these. But last year's seniors on the team: Matea Steinbach, Taylor Barwick, Emma Dorhorst, Autumn Tisver, Megan Mordvet, and Lydia Schaefer, Brianna Jacoby, mm-hmm. All the seniors. So that was a good group of girls. But you're right. The team coming back looks fairly decent. So let's talk about this year's team now a little bit. First day of practice, you get to meet the girls. How did that go?
Well, a lot of them knew me. I teach at the middle school as well, mm-hmm. So I've had them as students. Some of them I even taught when I was teaching elementary school. So I know a lot of these students for many years, and I've seen them on the baseball or on the softball field. And so, but the first day of practice, I think I was more nervous than they were.
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited about it, but I was also excited that I had staff members and assistant coaches that I could rely on, because they've kept the staff primarily intact. Mike Voss is my assistant coach. Deanna Cole is our JV coach, and then Jordy Pretsch, who's a former player, recent graduate. She's also assisting, and then I also have on the varsity level, I have Brenda Conradi, who also is a teacher and a former player for the district. And so I feel like the staff really kind of, helped me through it the first day or two, because like I said, I was probably more nervous than the players were. But it was also felt like getting back into the old swing of things. Like I had never really left. Once I started, and I was like, oh, this is putting on your favorite pair of shoes, so it was fun.
Yeah, you mentioned now Coach Pretsch, a recent memory, former shortstop, slick fielding shortstop for the Tigers just a few years ago. Okay, so we'll talk about this year's team maybe a little bit more in depth. I mentioned Courtney Donahue, one of the premier pitchers in all of the area. You'll have her in the circle regularly over her career. Now a senior. I was watching some old games of her as a freshman, right? Old games. Pitching already as a freshman. So talk about that and the experience that she brings from the circle just right off the bat.
As a first-year head coach, I can't be more blessed. To have not just Courtney, but 6 other seniors that are bringing the game experience and the leadership skills that they do on a day in and day out basis. But yeah, Courtney, she's like having another coach out on the field. The number of innings she's pitched, where she's traveled playing softball. She's worked hard for it, and she deserves every little bit of credit for it. She is one of our top pitchers, I believe, in the state. She deserves that recognition, and she will be our workhorse, as we go into the season. But she works hard. I mean, day and night, and she's when she's even not at practice, she's working on something with softball related.
Comes from a whole family of pitchers, so she knows about that work ethic. Commit to Des Moines Area Community College coming up next year. So certainly somebody you're going to lean on a lot. Her battery mate, Madeline Bornbach, not only a really good catcher, got some power, another one of those seniors. I'll give you now the floor now to talk about the seniors, and starting with Madeline Bornbach.
Maddie is also, I didn't know Maddie a whole lot until the season started. But she is someone that I look to for leadership all the time. She is so smart as far as on the field, and her teammates really rally behind her, and they respect her. And so I've been really impressed with that ability. I've kind of been pushing her a little bit to kind of take control, as far as maybe be a little bit more control. She called the pitches a little bit more this year. And, because she is also committing to UW lacrosse and wants to continue her softball career. And so I told her, we need to take that next step. And this is that next step. So really just building confidence in them. But yeah, she's been fun to have around, but really, really solid young person.
Oftentimes, seniors can kind of be a coach on the field. So tell us about your senior group as a whole, what you expect out of them on game day.
Oh, God. I've told them, that they need to step up, and they need to speak, and they need to communicate, and from everything. We got to celebrate the small little plays that might seem to some people not very significant, but we got to celebrate those, but we also need to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And, and that's what I kind of instilled in them since the first day of practice is we got to communicate, and seniors, I want you to lead. I've tried to, as a first-year coach, I've tried to give them a little bit more ownership, and some of the team, as much as I can, as far as team decisions and things like that. And they've really kind of rallied behind it and are stepping up to that plate. So I cannot be more thrilled about that group of 7 seniors. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have them.
Again, Coach on the Couch here with Marshfield Tigers softball coach Becky Linzmeier, and we're here at the beautiful Marshfield Country Club. Goals for this year. Up until last year, DC Everest were conference champs.
Right.
Last year, the Splash Panthers had won 20 consecutive conference championships. That is something right there. Where do you think you and the girls? What is your place in the Valley Conference this year? I mean, where do you think you fit overall?
I'm planning to compete for a Valley Championship. I really am. If I wouldn't be, if I can't say that, I don't know. I'm confident in our girls' ability, and I don't see why we can't. We defeated these teams last year in the playoffs. Why can't we do that in the regular season? So I know the Valley Conference is extremely tough. I mean, I coached in it for a number of years, and I was part of those 20 years where Point had 20 consecutive, So I realize that. But I really do think that, with the solid players that we have, the pitching and the experience and hopefully offensively coming around, I think, why not? Why not? We haven't even, had one game yet. We want to compete for a Valley Conference championship. There's no reason why, in my opinion, we can't.
Got essentially a brand new ball diamond that you
Right.
play at right across the street from Marshfield Senior High School. So tell us about that home field advantage and just to be able to play in that kind of a state-of-the-art facility.
Oh, it's fantastic. Just going there. I as a first year coach, when I got the keys, I had to stop there myself and just walk around by myself just to kind of take it all in. It was just, it's so cool to be a part of it, and I'm so excited that these players have a venue like that to play in, and we're really trying, and my goal is to, as their coach, really try to create a fun game experience, not just for our kids, but also for our fans, and hopefully, develop some home field advantage that way. So, I think it's a fantastic facility. I, give so much credit to our community for supporting it, and our athletic director, to help spearhead that. But I'm excited about it, and the girls are lucky to have it.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it's known today as Madison Field. We'll
Yep.
see naming going forward, but known today as Madison Field. Located just right across the street from Marshfield Senior High School. Important for people to come down and cheer on the girls. So, I told you, the camera would find you, but this might be a time to kind of stare down the camera and tell people it's important to come out and cheer on the girls in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Please come down and support us. Our girls are working hard, and I talk about with them, being have pride to support your school and your community, and hopefully come on down. It's we don't charge, and we have some concessions there, and maybe you can support the team that way. But also, I think it's a great time to get out and enjoy the spring weather, hopefully, and see some good ball. I mean, we have our Valley Conference, not just our team, but our whole Valley Conference are solid teams, and we'll play on some Saturdays. So come on down and enjoy some good softball.
Good. I think we'll kind of begin to wrap this up. So the last tough question for you. When people are down there watching the games, how will they know, regardless of what's on the scoreboard, how will they know that things are going according to Coach Linzmeier's plan today?
I'm hoping it's all about the culture. I started, when I was coming up with my whole plan as far as what I wanted to do. I wanted to develop a culture where these girls bring energy and excitement every day, and also have fun along with that. I played in high school as well, and it goes by so fast. And those memories that you build on the diamond are what you carry with you. I mean, when I think back to my high school career, those are the things that I remember. And, I remember my coaches, and things like that from Auburndale. Shout out Auburndale.
Right,
But, it's about building a culture and hopefully getting some excitement, and energy, and showing some team pride, and just, on my part too, showing that excitement, being happy when somebody lays down a sacrifice bunt or makes a great play on defense to keep a runner from scoring, whatever it is, those small things, celebrating those small things. So for me, hopefully, when you come down to the field, that's what you'll see, and you'll see some good ball as well.
Sign me up, Coach. If you've got an amateur tournament, I'm in.
All right, awesome.
Well, like I said, we're very much looking forward to the season. If for whatever reason you're out of the area, you can't make it to the game, many of these games will be broadcast on Zaleski Sports. Mission number one is to get down to the Ball Diamond, wherever they're playing, home and away. Go cheer on these girls. I think they're going to have a really good season again this year, so be a part of it.
All right.
Coach, thanks for being here. Best of luck and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for having me.
More Coach on the Couch coming up next.